What are you most proud of in your life? That I can function here in Colombia and talk to local people a little over a year since starting to learn Spanish from scratch. It turns out that learning a language is pretty amazing. I have a long way to go to reach fluency. But I watch every film and show in Spanish now and read news articles every day. I started losing weight during the pandemic and ultimately lost around 30 kilos. I'm in much better shape now than I was in 2020. I'm proud of that. However, I'm very much used to it. A language is a whole new world. My animal rescue. I rescue a lot of species and I do get friendly animals in. But I really kind of specialize in large or aggressive exotic animals. Peacock that made you need stitches can live here and give that animal not just a place to live out its days, but a sufficiently sized enclosure where they can explore and display natural behaviors. It's expensive and time-consuming, but I love it. I found out the day before graduation in high school that I was gonna graduate. Not a good student at all. 8 years later, I decided to go to college to pursue a nursing degree after I tried killing myself and was admitted to a mental hospital. He was the perfect nurse in every way and I wanted to be like him. My first year back, I excelled in my classes and one of my professors nominated me to be in the National Honor Society of Leadership and Success. Best feeling in the world. Probably the least important in this thread, but cool to me. When I was younger, I had a far familiar who I have only met once. I'm Spanish and she worked as a traductor. Knew like 7 languages or so. I remember being in a car with her listening to some English song on the radio and asked her how does it feel to know what they are saying, because of course I didn't. I don't know what did she answer, but of course I do understand it now. I think of that sometimes and I like it, that I'm still alive. 5 years ago I was absolutely certain I was going to die by depression. I would take my life or it would slowly take me in other ways. After formal diagnosis and meds, my entire life changed. I haven't had a self-termination thought in years. While yes, there's still time, I never let myself forget where I was and how much I never want to go back there. The life I have now felt impossible and I worked hard to still be here for it. I played in the national youth football team. Signed my first professional contract at 17, only to blow it at 20 because of an unhealthy relationship and my lack of discipline. After a few tough years of depression, drug abuse I picked myself up and I am currently finishing my university degree, final exams coming up soon. I moved to a new city, got a good job, new friends. I'm still struggling, but I'm on a good path. Knowing that I grew into an incredibly emotionally mature adult, despite my traumatic childhood. I'm someone that would have made my younger self feel safe, not planning to have children of my own. But I thoroughly enjoy being a part of other people's village. There's also something deeply satisfying about having my 13 and 21-year-old younger sisters reaching out to ask for advice, hang out. Being the safe house for my daughter's friends. I've been told a couple of times that my wife and I help her friend have a quiet place to study and just relax from her daily stress. She's 10, and it breaks my heart when she has to go back. But I'm glad she has a place she feels safe and knows she can always have food, clothes same size as my daughter, a friend, and a place to relax. Single father with sole custody of 2 daughters since they were 1 and 2 years old. Both of my daughters graduated high school with honors. Both of my daughters are in college, with my oldest daughter close to graduation. As a single father, I raised my daughters by myself without any help. Also 20 years working in a job which provides food for low-income people. Surviving after my boyfriend committed suicide. I received multiple messages telling me it was my fault and that I should also kill myself. He never loved me, etc. Also, 6 months after he died, his sister told me I didn't know him long enough to love him enough to still be grieving, as she lost someone she'd known his whole life and I hadn't. Just in the past year, with my niece's DNA sample or ancestry, I discovered my adopted brother-in-law's birth parents at his request. His birth mother was still living. The birth situation was largely a positive one. His birth parents had married when my Bill was born, married soon after, for over 40 years, and she was glad to hear from him. Turning out poor. At 36, I've accomplished most of my life goals and have a very good thing going. Have a happy 17-year relationship, healthy and happy 5-year-old son, own a house in Toronto. Have a very high-paying job where I work 42.5 hours per week from home. Travel twice per year. Feel like I need anything more. Being strong and being me. No matter what I've seen, felt or otherwise experienced in my life. I learn and I move on. I've lived it and learned more than you can know. I've had every choice to end it and every chance to just give up. But I don't. I just keep going and going until the very end. We foster dogs and help nurture them to full health before homing them to forever home. I feel like a superhero saving life, seeing those dogs from being super scared and in a poor state. Nothing makes me happier than seeing them galloping in the garden with their waggy tail. My sons, they are incredible humans that offer many things to society. They have so many great traits I can't even name them all. I know I am leaving the world a better place just by producing children that are also concerned with making the world better for everyone. My daughter, hands down, she's either going to be the CEO of a major company or the leader of a prison gang. Only time will tell, but she will definitely be in charge of something. She's just a natural-born leader. Definitely didn't get that from me or her bio dad. Looking after my mum for several years while she was sick, while dealing with severe depression. Donating blood 26 times. Helping my grandpa. Helping my grandma when she had her stroke. Volunteering at a food bank every Wednesday for the past 2.5 years. Dug myself out of anger and despair after my divorce. I took figurative blows from my ex. The courts had people turn against me, and life was kicking my ass for a while, but I got up each time. I said the only way I won't get up is if I'm dead. Having gone for days without sleeping, and without coffee or energetics. Just kidding, it's my dad surely. He's my gentle giant and I aspire to be as great of a person to others as he was to me. Every good virtue I hold, it's because he taught me. Probably getting into university. In my first year of college, my parents separated and my brother fell ill with cancer and died during my second year. I also had evening jobs during the time, and I still have no idea quite how I manage it all. During the worst of COVID, I, as a primary care physician, volunteered to work as an ICU physician taking care of patients on ventilators. So many physicians declined. Myself and 9 other primary care physicians stepped up. I have tried my very best to alleviate suffering whenever I have the resources and the opportunity, and that I haven't been shy in pointing at injustice, and if possible stopping it. That's my contribution to humanity. Beating the odds. 2 years behind in school and turned 17 in the summer. Enlisted in the Navy instead of going back to school. From lowly E1 to E5 in for years. Honorable discharge. GED. AAS. BAAS and a few hours ago I installed a new faucet and drain to the sink in my bathroom in my own house. Had to make some adjustments to the existing holes to make it work. But I did it. And I did it all on my own. My own life, and I tried to, and getting the help I needed as a Jenks male. The honestly was the hardest thing I have ever had to do. And I have had to learn to walk again after being run over by a car. Ling over or doing something wrong after I lost my brother and dad in a span of a year and a half. I loved them and did not think I could go on without them. Of course it took me time, but I survived. Hiked the Appalachian Trail whilst getting sober for my first camping hiking experience. Forced not clean anymore. But amazing memories and love backpacking to this day. Plan to head a circuit this week. Being diagnosed as severely ADHD as a kid and having struggled through elementary school and middle school, I went on and learned coping skills on my own and graduated with my master's degree honors. Went from an obese 232 pounds shut into 170 pounds gym rat. When I was in my 20s, I looked like I was in my 30s. When I was 30, people thought I was in my early 20s. Losing weight, truly a fountain of youth. Put myself into college, all my siblings are dropouts with multiple children at home. Not that I hate my brother and sister, but they used to pick on me a lot growing up, so I guess I get the last laugh. A bunch of us strangers flew across a country to restore a kid with cancers a day. Come watch, V3U9 Upanuk T307s. After all the bullshit I dealt with in my 20s, I'm still here. I own a home, manage at a dispensary, and play music on the weekends in the local music scene. I'm just happy I have enough at the moment. That I achieved my lifelong dream of becoming a teacher. I love my job even on the bad days because I know I'm making a difference in the lives of tweens and their families. That I ran 8 marathons plus numerous half marathons, 10 kiloseconds and 5 kiloseconds, and one 15-mile trail run, all after age 55. Had to stop at age 70 due to a non-running related accident. That I don't act or think like my father. He treats other people like as he has no respect for anyone but himself. He's always right, and he uses your feelings against you. Surviving severe mental illness and trauma despite having pretty much no support in my life. Also that I've never been financially or otherwise dependent on a partner. Picked up a smoking hot girl, possibly the hottest girl in existence, her pussy like a wild beast till my jaw hurt. Had a smile on my face for over 2 weeks.